Hello, everyone. We're nearing the end of the Halloween series. We've got this week and next week. I missed Thursday because I was captured in a castle. Not really, but there was a lot going on. I had a wedding going on. I had a field trip with a group that I had planned, so I was in charge of that. Um, then there was grandkid stuff. So I didn't get to do my Thursday regular class. So this is in place for Thursday. It's going to post today, Sunday. So I'm a few days late, but I am out of the haunted castle well and alive. I had a great time with the kids trick-or-treating and all that stuff. They had a spooky campground or haunted campground where I live here. So today's class is Expansiveness yoga class. That's a tongue twister. So we're going to focus on the back, core, legs, arms, and doing big poses. So we're going to be doing a lot of openers or like wide open, really stretching our body out, experiencing that expansiveness outside of our little realm here. We're going to go outside of our bubble. So let's begin in Tadasana for our warm-ups for that. And these are just our basic warm-ups that we do. Oh, I forgot something, but that's okay. Forgot to look at the time. Okay, I got it. So let's begin with just some putting the toes up and down and up and down, up and down, up and down. And then let's come up on the toes and go down. Up on the toes and go down. Thriller! Up and down, up and down, up and down. And let's rotate our wrist. We're going to do a little bit of work on our wrist, not too much, but we want to get them loosened up anyway. And our elbows. So elbows round. We're going to stretch up real high as you can. Stretch, 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 stretch. And bend to the right side. And bend to the left side. And straighten up. Bend back. Bend forward. Just really loosening the whole body. Let's bring our arms down. Some shoulder raises. Shoulder raises. Feels good. Let's just shrug up and let it go with Shrug up. Up. Oh, that felt good. Now let's just rotate our neck. I'm just looking down slightly and swinging my chin side to side. Side to side. It feels very good. Now let's grasp our hands and we're going to twist to the right. Keep your hips forward and center. Hips forward. We're just twisting the torso. Just a little twist. It's really super windy here today. Like we're under a wind advisory. So if I had a kite, I might go out and try to fly my kite. Let's take our hands and grasp it behind us. Up, leaning slightly backward. This is a great one to do if you sit a lot. You can get up and do this and revive yourself. And then bend forward. We're still holding the hands up. Go up and release. Take your right hand, put it over your shoulder, take your left hand and try to reach up and grab that hand. Oh, nice stretch. This is another one for relieving back stress because you've sat too long, rode in the car too long. It's just a great opposite pose from sitting and slightly hunching forward, or hunching forward a lot depending on how you sit at your desk or drive your car. Release that. Bring the left arm and the hand over like you're going to pat yourself on the back. The right arm up. So this side is not quite as flexible. Yours may look like this. So do what you can do. Don't think you have to do this. And if you have shoulder issues, keep the top arm down, just stretching the back arm up. So there's some options. I try to put options in. Sometimes I forget. Just stretching that nice. It feels so good. I used to do this when I had desk jobs. It was my favorite because you can do this and nobody's like, what is she doing over there at her desk? Actually, very few people really notice. You just sit at your desk and it just looks like you just got one arm up. And release that. Rotate your shoulders, your arms around into our bat wings. I have spooky names for our poses during the month of October in honor of Halloween. And reverse that. Whew. Let's just take a nice big breath in. We're standing in Tadasana or tombstone pose. We're going to bend our knees. Inhale up. And exhale. As you swan dive over. It's a nice forward fold. This is where your blocks come in handy. If you need to bring the floor up to meet you, it's important to keep the back straight. In other words, don't bend over like this because you're not stretching properly. I could probably put my block down like this today, and my back is still pretty straight. Try to keep the head lined up. We're going to have spooky noises too. That's my dog. And bend your knees. Inhale up. And clasp your hands together again. And this time we're going to move a little faster on our twist. We're in this windy weather, maybe a hurricane. And we're just twisting. We're in a twister. Tornado. We're a tornado. Gearing up to come down and make a touchdown. Pick up Toto and Dorothy. I know that The Wizard of Oz is not a Halloween show, but we always used to watch it right around Halloween. I think it's gone off now. They used to play it on TV. It was our favorite thing to watch during the year. Okay, let's this is where your chair might come in handy for warming up the knee and the hips. If you need to have a chair for balance, we're going to bring the right leg up and we're going to swing it out. I'm going to try to do it. I'm really working on regaining my balance. So let's do 5 of these. There's 3, 4, and 5. Hold your tummies in, your Uddiyana Bandhas. Now we're going to kick out and in. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. Now we're going to rotate the ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bring that down to stillness. Shake your legs out a little bit. bring the chair on the other side. Lift up your left leg and out and in. Really opening up that hip flexor, stretching the inner thigh. 3, 4, and 5. There we go. And we did out and in. 2, kick. 3, kick. 4, kick. 5. And then we're going to rotate the ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring that down to stillness. Shake your legs out. And we're going to begin our yoga expansive poses. We're going to experience that today. Put my glasses on. Already forgot what we were going to do first. Oh yeah, this one is fun. It feels really good. It's a sun salutation, but I'm calling it sleeping vampire because we're putting a little twist onto it. So let's stand in our tombstone Tadasana mountain pose, whichever one you want to call it. If you want to be silly with me, I'm going to call it tombstone pose, just for the fun of it. And you get that by finding your hip bones, pointing your fingers down, and your feet should be right underneath where your fingers are pointing. Those are your hips. This is not your hips out here. So here we go. Inhale up. Exhale over. And just hang out here. Take and hold your opposite elbows with opposite hands. This is what I've renamed, and a variation of sun salutation, of sleeping zombie. So we got our heads could be ragdoll. This is ragdoll actually. And we're going to bend your knees and swing your arms right and left. And then we're going to really bend the knees, bring the arms up, really use your leg strength coming up, and then come over to the right, swinging up. And when I say use that leg strength, tighten up that leg to bring yourself up. Let yourself come down, loosen your legs, tighten your feet, press your toes into the mat, tighten your calves, tighten your hamstrings, tighten your glutes, and come all the way up. We're sleeping zombies. And then rotate down and then stay in the center. We're going to come back opposite. So we're going to tighten the feet, the legs, swinging up to the right and over. Whew. Down, tighten, swing up, left, over, tighten, swing up from the right, tighten, let yourself loosen, over. One more. Tighten those legs, really have some core strength in there too. And I think if you try one without using the leg strength, you will see the big difference. We're back down here into forward fold, and we'll finish our sun salutation. I'm going to go ahead and complete that. So we're going to inhale halfway up. Stabilize, tighten your legs. Inhale. And exhale, bend your knees generously as you come all the way up. Oh yeah, that felt really nice. and just stretch side to side. Now we're going to face the short end of the mat, and we're going to do one more forward fold. So inhale up, exhale over, place your hands on the mat and walk them forward. Come down into child's pose, or cauldron's pose, I've been calling it. But instead of a regular child's pose, I want you to bring your knees out as wide as your mat. I have an extra wide mat, so mine are not going to go that far because our theme is expansive. So we want to do big poses. We're doing a big inner thigh stretch and hip opener here into this child's pose. So we're going to inhale, arms up, and exhale as we lay over into this big expanded child's pose. Place your forehead on the mat, arms are forward. I didn't leave enough room. I got to scoot back a little bit because we're going to do a zombie crawl, which is going to expand our arms even further. So for a zombie crawl, we're going to try and pretend that you just can use your fingers. So you're going to bring the right hand up a little bit and try to pull, which should be putting some tension on that arm. Relax that. Crawl with the left, but you're not going anywhere. You're still in our basic sit of our child's pose or our cauldron pose. So do about 4 or 5 zombie crawls on each hand. This is just to strengthen and really lengthen that arm, the whole arm width. I think I've done about 5 or 6 of them. So bring that to stillness. Inhale and exhale the right hand to the right, the left hand follows. For another big stretch. We're all about big stretches today, expansive stretches. And on your next exhale, bring that back to center. And just relax your head down. Inhale. Exhale, left hand to the left, right hand follows. Really nice long stretches. It was hard to come up with yoga poses to do with that word expansiveness. I had to really think about that for a while. So I thought, well, I'll just do opening poses. And on your next exhale, return to center. And we're going to come up to tabletop. And we're going to do some expansive movements in our tabletop. We're going to pretend that we're in a hurricane or tornado, or just the high winds here in Missouri right now, in the Kansas City area. And we're just going to start rotating around. Woo! Really expansive. And I don't know why the dog wants to act up when I start streaming my class. And reverse that. We're taking the hip to the left, swinging it to the right, coming up on our hands, really stretching forward. See how I'm really pulling forward? Stretching the hip to the left, going to the right, and coming up on our hands. Bring that to stillness. And just stay there tabletop for a second. There. Put him outside. And I left the door open so he can come in and out, and I hope the wind doesn't blow my door apart. So here we are in tabletop. I apologize again. He's done this the last 2 times that I'm streaming. He's just like a bad child. Mom gets busy and he wants attention, I guess. I don't know. So here we are. We're just hanging out in tabletop. We're going to do a levitating table. So I want you to really spread your fingers out as wide as you can. Press them into the mat. That's your expansiveness on your hands. Inhale and exhale the knees up. Just about an inch or 2. Really hold in that tummy. We're going to try to hold this for about 30 seconds. Really dig those fingertips in there to save your wrist. My feet are flat. The tops are on the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down slowly. Sit back on your feet, or if that is uncomfortable, you could take one of your blocks and sit on it with your feet just and whatever is comfortable out to the side. Some people say it's more comfortable to have the toes bent. Maybe you need 2 blocks to sit on. Just be comfortable. This is actually really comfortable. I think I'm going to stay up here today. I could sit down, but why? I'm expansive. I want to be up tall and big. So there we go. I've got 2 blocks under me. You can have more. You can put a blanket under you too. And we're just going to rotate our wrist around because we had a lot of pressure on the wrist there. And then reverse that. And shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. Woo, woo, woo. Come back into your tabletop. Move my blocks out of the way. So back into our tabletop. Curl your toes under. And we're going to raise up into down dog or wolf fang pose. I'm on my toes right now. My head is between my arms, just comfortably. It can move. It's not stiff. My tailbone is pointing toward the ceiling, which really gives you a nice long stretch through that spine. And then walk your wolf out or your dog out. 1 foot up, 1 foot down. Just gently stretching calf and hamstring out there. Breathing, really holding in your core strength, your Uddiyana Bandha, your abdominal cavity, pulling that in nice and tight. And then when you feel able, you can try to lower your heels down and then raise them back up. Take those expansive hands and really grip the mat because we're on the wrist again. And if you need to take a break, just come down on your knees and come down into child's pose, or you can sit up in hero's pose and shake your wrist out. There's no shame in taking a break from a pose anytime you need it. And you definitely should. There is shame in staying in a pose where you're uncomfortable and you're starting to hurt places. I'm going to go back up into our down dog wolf fang pose again. So Get situated in your tabletop, pressing your hands down, curl your toes under, and pop up into that down dog. Now we're going to let the left foot come all the way down to the mat if you can. If you can't, then just stay up where it's comfortable. We're going to bring the right leg up. Whew. And we're just going to bring the knee into the chest and then raise it back up. Let's do that 5 times. 3, 4. We'll do it 5. We'll do it one more because I did 2 before we started counting. And last one. Now bring the right foot up between the hands. And I have to kind of inch mine up there. I'm not as limber as I used to be. And we're going to lower the left knee down. If you need to have a blanket under your knee for extra cushioning, I said bring a blanket class, so grab your blanket, get it situated for under your knee. And now we're in a low lunge. Pull in your stomach muscles so that you're using your body to stay up. Your hands are just here to kind of balance you like we do on the chair. One finger, very light. I'm not really putting pressure on the hands. And I'm going to curl my toes under. And if you want, you can lift up or you can stay down. I'm going to stay down for this part. We're going to inhale our arms up so that you're using the strength of your legs. And this is also a balance pose. And exhale out. I'm going to bring both hands and place it on the left side of my right foot. Lift my knee up, my left knee up into lizard pose. What is a Halloween class without a lizard? And again, my hands are here for balance. I'm trying to use mostly my leg strength, which should be saving your hands and your wrists, but they're down here for balance. And we're going to hold it. We're holding it for 30 seconds, so we have a little bit of time left. We're more than halfway there. Hold in that stomach, really hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the left knee. Bring the right hand to the right of the right foot and roll back into a runner's lunge. I'm calling it shadow lunge, because we're making our shadows move back and forth. Just nice and gentle. We're going to do 5 or 6 of these. Here's number 2. I'm just gently rolling forward, lifting the knee up as I come forward, rolling back. Really stretching that whole right leg area and the back. And forward, stretches the front of the left leg and back. Nice and slow, don't be jerky with these movements. I have spider hands because I'm not putting a lot of pressure on my hands at this point. It's just here for balance. And I forgot to count because I was busy talking. So this will be the last one up. Now, we are going to have to put some pressure on our hands and wrists again. So get them stabilized. Lift the left knee up and bring the right foot back to meet the left into plank or stiff corpse pose. We'll hold this for 30 seconds. Don't forget your expansive fingertip grip. Pull in the abs. This is great for your core strength. If you don't do any other exercise, but you do planks, you're actually strengthening the entire body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down. Widen the knees and come back into our expansive, big child's pose. And just rest here for a moment. You can have your head turned to the side, or you can have it straight down. I have mine up so I can talk and you can hear me better. Just take we're going to stay here for a minute and just let our body relax, because we're going to go back and do that whole routine again on the left side. So I want you to recuperate. You can rotate your wrist if you need to. Whatever you need to do to kind of take a break. If you need to grab your blanket maybe for the next time because you were uncomfortable, or you thought you didn't need it, and maybe you did need it, so go ahead and grab that blanket and have it handy. I'm just relaxing here, letting the pose settle. I took a few little stretches. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your hands ready and set. Come back to the tabletop. Curl your toes under and go into wolf mode. Oh, wolf mode. Here we go. And we're going to let this settle for just a minute. Maybe better walk it for a second or two. Bring the right leg flat on the mat. Lift the left leg up like you're going to kick yourself. Bring it forward to chest. That's 1. Kick up. Forward to the chest. 2. Kick up. Forward to the chest. 3. Kick up. Forward to the chest. 4. Really pull it in. Pick up. Forward to the chest. 5. Pick up. And this time, instead of coming to the chest, the left foot is going to come up in between. I have to help my hands into low lunge. I'm going to lower my knee for low lunge. And then bring your torso up. That is quite a workout. Now, if you want, you can try to lift the left knee up for unsupported low lunge, which really builds that leg strength. Inhale your arms up, out. Lower your knee down. Bring your hands down. Both hands are going to be onto the right side of the left foot. And we're going to raise up the left knee into lizard pose. So both hands are on the right side of your left foot. In other words, next to the big toe. Your knee is over your ankle. Your left leg is just straight out with the knee raised up off of the mat. And you're trying not to put too much weight on your hands. It's just there for support. And we're halfway there. And I want to tell you what we were doing, because then you start like, oh, that's so long. But we're almost done. We're trying to hold it 30 seconds like we did on the other side. Of course, if you can't, come down into child's pose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the right knee and bring the left hand to the left side of the foot over by the little toe. We're going to rock back into our shadow pose or runner's lunge. Really stretch. That's one. Roll back, toes come up, the whole foot comes up, just the heels on the ground or the mat. Roll forward, full foot on, raise the right knee, runner's stretch, or I'm calling it shadow stretch. I don't know why I called it that. I think because when I do this, I see my shadow moving back and forth. So I just said I'm just going to call it shadow stretch. If anyone has better names for poses, post it and let me read what you come up with in your creativity. I think this is our last one. Forward. Really pull forward. And the whole body go there. And then come back. Yes. Whew. Get your hands in position for plank. Curl your right toes under, lift your knee, bring the left foot back to meet the right, and plank it 30 seconds. Remember, if you need to use those expansive hands, big hands, clawing into the mat to take pressure off of the wrist. Very important. We're almost there. Whew. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down gently. Roll back into child's pose. Don't forget to widen your legs because everything we're doing wide. Big and wide. I haven't done lizard pose for a while, except for when I was practicing for this class. And I thought, why haven't I been doing lizard pose? It's such a good pose. It's really great hip opener, strengthening the legs. It's a balance pose. But a balance pose, if you do fall over, you're pretty close to the ground anyway, right? Inhale up into tabletop. Oh, and I forgot. And just stay in tabletop and maybe take a few wiggles and curves because I forgot what we were doing next. Oh, we're going to go back up. That's fine. I usually don't go back up near the end. So, while we're down here, this isn't on my list to do, but I think we'll do it anyway. Let's take a moment and do a Sphinx pose. So my elbows are under my shoulders and my hands are forward, and we're just got our head raised up into a nice Sphinx pose. A little bit of a back bend. So there's a lot of creepy moves out with the Sphinx in it, right? So we might as well add that to our Halloween class today. And the Sphinx that they have in the statues, they're humongous. They're so big. And then we will go into a crocodile rest pose because we've been working so hard. I'm going to give us a break. I'm sweating. So I'm going to bring my right hand underneath where my forehead is going to lay down, and my left hand is going to go over my right hand, and I'm just going to lay my forehead down onto my hands. On your next exhale, bring your hands back into Sphinx pose so your elbows are under your shoulders. My pubic bone is pressing into the mat. I'm tightening my glutes, tightening my abs, and really sphinxing it here in my pose. When you're in a pose, don't just be in the pose. Actually use your muscles. Tighten your muscles up to stay in that pose. And then we're going to go back down into a crocodile pose. I'm going to go close my door. I think the wind is getting abusive out there, so I've got to close the door. So bring your left hand where your forehead would come down to the mat and place your right hand on the top, and then just bring your forehead down on top of your hands and rest in your crocodile pose. I want to shut this door. Okay, now we're going to come out of our crocodile pose. So bring your hands down to your breastbone, lining up with the breastbone. Curl your toes under and raise up into tabletop. And then from tabletop, make an adjustment. I had to bring my hands in a little bit closer so they're underneath my shoulder, a little bit further out in front of me. Inhale and raise up into werewolf or down dog pose again. And then we're going to walk our feet up to our hands. Make sure your knees are bent generously. Inhale up into Tadasana or tombstone pose. And then we're going to, from there, you might want to have your chair handy. Bring it up here. We're going to do a disappearing chair or chair pose. And we're going to do 3 different variations. The normal variation, just here. And if your chair is here, and that's where you're at in your practice, then make sure you do your best you can do by tightening all your muscles. Your chair may be here, or it may kind of elevate up and down as you're in this disappearing chair because you feel good here, but then you have to take a break. So we'll do that, and we're going to try to hold it. I think we'll go 30 seconds on the first round, and then we're going to try to go for a whole minute, but we'll see. We may not make it there. Then the second variation of chair disappearing pose is going to be while you're down into your pose, and this is where your real chair may come in handy. Just have it in front of you. Is we're going to raise one foot up and stand on one leg. Okay, so there's our next round of events. Here we go. So inhale up, exhale, try to find that chair, sit in it, but it has disappeared, so you're gonna have to hold yourself up here. Your arms can be straight out in prayer position. So you choose where you want them. Sometimes I like prayer position because if I start feeling owie, then I can press my palms together and it kind of takes my mind off of those glutes and hamstrings that are working so hard. We're halfway there. Just make sure you have good form in whatever chair pose you pick. Up or down, whichever one. or you can have moving chair pose. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale up slowly. When we come out of the pose, don't just pop up out of it. Come up slow, so you're really using those muscles, okay? Here we go. Inhale up. Exhale down. And this invisible chair has a footrest, so bring up your right foot to the footrest. Use your physical chair if you need to keep your balance. We're just going to hold this 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up on one leg and place the other leg down. Shake your legs out. And I think we're going to do a minute in the chair pose. 30 seconds was a long time. We may try for 40 seconds. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now your left foot wants to rest. So bring it up to the footrest, the invisible footrest, and prayer or straight out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up and place the left foot next to the right. Shake it back. Round 2 of invisible disappearing chair. Inhale up. Exhale down. Lock in your hold. Tighten your glutes. Tighten your hamstrings. Press your toes into the mat. We're going to go for 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Really tighten those glutes. We're halfway there. That's 20 seconds. You can move your hands varying ways to break up the pain in your legs. We're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up slow, 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 slow. Woo! I hope you made it with me for 40 seconds. That's tough. And we're going to go back to using the footrest, and we'll still just stick with 15 seconds on that. Inhale up. Exhale down into our disappearing chair. Put your footrest up, your foot on your footrest for 15 seconds. Great balance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up and place your right foot down. Last one on the left. I hope you're making it with me. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left foot on the footrest. And use your chair for balance if you need it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up on the right leg, place the left foot down, and shake it out. Shake it out. Woo! That was a lot of work on the hamstrings, on the glutes, balance. And let's see what is next on our expansive. We're going to go into Warrior 2. I called it Wizard, the Wizard 2. So here we go. We start in Tadasana. Our tombstone pose. This is such a grounding pose, and if you are standing in it and you're pulling in your Uddiyana Bandha, your stomach muscles, and you're really tightening your legs, you're building a lot of strength and stability in your body, and you're also really grounding yourself. If you have important decisions, you need to be very grounded. So we're going to bend our knees and inhale up. and step our right foot back at about a 45-degree angle. The left foot is straight, pointing to the short end of the mat. We're going to bend slightly forward so that our knee is over our ankle, but not over the toes. That's bad for the knees. My arms are straight out. My hips are trying to face forward. They're not quite, that would be almost impossible. So they're at a slight angle, but as much forward as possible. In other words, don't face them to the left. Only your toes are facing left. And look out over your left hand. So your head is facing left, but your hips are more towards the center. This is a great leg strengthening inner thigh stretch. Really tighten those legs, tighten up your stomach. And we're halfway there. Should start feeling it in that right thigh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the left leg. Then the right arm over to the knee. Don't put it on the knee. You can go to the thigh or to the shin, or if you want, you can go all the way down to the floor. I'm going to stay up here on the shin. Raise the right hand overhead into our triangle or pyramid pose. Now, really tighten those legs. Tighten your right arm and let the right arm bring you up. Ha! And inhale. Exhale, the right foot to the left foot. Now I'm going to turn this way so you can see me better. We're going to do the left side. So there's my clock. Bend your knees, inhale up. Exhale as you step the left foot back. Put your feet in the right position. My hip bones, see where they're at? They're trying to come to the middle. Bend my right knee over my right ankle. Inhale my arms up. And gaze out over your right hand. And we're going to do 30 seconds here. Oh, there's that second hand. I looked at the wrong one. Really build that strength, that power of that warrior or that wizard. You're powerful. You're not powerful unless you're really using that leg strength. Here we are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the right leg. And just tipping over. The right hand coming down, left hand straight up in the air into triangle pose. I can't see the clock, so I'm just going to guess. And here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tighten the legs. Tighten, make a fist with your hand, and use that left hand to pull you up. Nice. Lower your arms. Bring the left foot up to meet the right, and shake your legs out. And I think I had something else standing out, but we're getting close to the end of class. So there's some things I want to do when we come down to the mat. So I'm going to skip the next one. I always try to put in extra. And sometimes when I go through the class, I'm imagining in my mind how I'm explaining it. And it goes faster in my mind than it does when I start streaming. I'm going to get me a drink. If anyone needs a drink, get a drink. Keep hydrated. During any form of exercise. That's very important. So, we are going to end with coming down to the mat in a certain way. So, follow me. Inhale up. And take your legs wide. That expansive, wide Tadasana stand, wide-legged. Exhale down into our squat, our creepy pose. You may have to adjust your legs. Just so you're squatted down, my elbows are resting on the inner thigh and they're pressing slightly back. We're going to hold this pose for 30 seconds. And this is a good pose to really do some Kegel exercises. Try to do 10 Kegels while we're here. You can just count yourself. You might want to hold your Kegels longer or with less time. We're halfway there. Squat exercise or creepy pose is excellent for your digestion. It's a great inner thigh stretch and a leg builder strengthening. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your hands on the mat. Walk them forward. I'm placing one knee down, the other knee down. Make sure that you have your stuff for Shavasana. A blanket if you need it. I should have put a bolster. I always like a bolster. Or you can use just a pillow. Got to get my bolster out. And just have it handy. We're going to do a couple of poses before we go into Shavasana. Let's move that chair out of the way. And if you have an eye mask, make sure you get that out. Definitely nice to have an eye mask. And I have this neck that I like to use during Shavasana. So I've got all my stuff at my fingertips. So if you haven't already, maybe you are still gathering your items for Shavasana. We're going to come down into a restorative rest pose. I hope you can see me. I can't really see the picture up there from this angle. So I hope I'm in the picture. Yeah, it looks like I am. Okay. So just take a moment to be in restorative rest pose, and my legs feel like I really worked them out. They feel active. They're ready to go jump 10 feet in the air. Not really. They feel pretty strong right now, though, from that workout, and kind of tingly. Not where they're going to sleep, but just where they're energized. So that was a good leg workout. I hope that it was as good for you. Now let's just start gently letting the knees fall to the right. Keep your shoulders on the mat. I'm getting a lot of nice back adjustments during this exercise today. And we're just going to roll gently side to side. Try to go 5 times on each side. Coming up on my second to the left. And I'm rolling 3 to the right. When I roll to the right, my head goes to the left. Inhale, legs to the left, head to the right. There we go. Inhale, legs to the right, 4, head to the left. Now pause there for a moment. Inhale up, legs to the left, head to the right. Don't overstretch the low back. Inhale up, legs to the right, head to the left. This is the last one. Inhale up, Exhale, legs to the left, head to the right. Oh, it feels so good. Inhale, legs up to center. Now we're going to do, I've been calling these the Salem Lot group of exercises for low back, SI joint. I think it helps the psoas muscle too. So we're going to inhale, and we're going to bring the right knee up, and the right hand is going onto the right thigh, and you're going to press, try to push your knee to your chest, but your hand is not going to let it. Really use the core muscle here. Tighten up the Uddiyana Bandha, strengthening and release. I felt a lot in that low back. Bring the left leg up, left hand on the left thigh, and press. Really press. Keep pressing until I say don't press anymore. We're trying to hold it 5 to 10 seconds. This is what helps to make that alignment, that adjustment in the low back without crunching the bones. And release. Like a chiropractor might kind of jerk it, but if you do it this way, it's your body making the adjustment. It's much better for your low back. Inhale the right leg up. This time the right leg is going to try to come across the midline of the body. So we're going to take our left hand, press not on the top of the thigh, but a little bit to the side, and really press. Start pressing with the knee trying to come over to the left shoulder, but you're not going to let it move anywhere. Really holding it, holding in that stomach, and release. That feels so good. Inhale the left leg up, and of course it's going to do the same, but it's going to be coming over the midline to the right. Right hand on the left thigh, press, really press. If you're really trying to make that knee come up to your shoulder. And release. I call this Salem's Lot because it's all in that sacroiliac area, the low back. So I thought, well, we got all that back in there. Now we're going to bring both knees up, and we're going to hold on the outside of our knee. The feet are together, and we're going to try to press our knees out, but we're not going to let them. And release. Can you feel that working in that low back? Oh, I feel it. Inhale, knees up. Make fist. Put them in between your legs where they're a little below the knee joint, and we're going to push our knees together, but of course they won't go together because we got two fists in there. Really press it. Push, 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 push. Hold the stomach in and release. That felt great. Let's inhale both legs up. Put your hands behind your legs. You can clasp your hands together or hold your wrist. And we're going to just roll our low back along the mat. Releasing any of that low back tension that we have built up. And bring that to stillness. And get your bolster, your blanket, whatever you need. We're coming into our long awaited for Shavasana movement. And we'll be here about 10, 12 minutes. I'm going to lead you through a breathing exercise just to get you to relax and get down into your Shavasana. It's called 4-count breathing. You will inhale through the nose to the count of 4, hold it to the count of 2. Exhale through the mouth to the count of 4 and hold it for the count of 2. And we'll repeat that 4 times. And I will count for you. I won't be able to do it while I'm counting because I can't count and breathe that way. So inhale nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Exhale mouth, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Inhale nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Exhale mouth, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Inhale nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Exhale mouth, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Inhale nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Exhale mouth, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2. Start moving around and coming back to your day or evening or whatever your situation is of going to sleep, going to eat dinner. Start coming back to the reality here. When you're ready, roll over onto your right side and slowly press your top arm into the mat, bringing yourself up to a seated position. And if you have your blanket or your bolster there, you can use that to sit on. I'm going to bring my chair up here and sit in the chair. I really went into that Shavasana heavy. It felt wonderful. So our class was called Expansiveness. Experience expansiveness is what I called it. And expansiveness opens upwards and outwards. And that's what we try to open up and out and really stretch our legs. Really opened our bodies up. Rise above your current context. Widen your perspective and let your life become more inclusive. Keep growing and unfolding. In other words, explore something new in your life this week. Go somewhere you haven't been, or maybe you haven't been for a long time. There's a lot of places that I haven't been for a long time because 2020 shut everything down, and some places are back up and some are not. So I'm trying to get back into exploring some things that I used to enjoy, but I haven't done for a while, and along the way doing some things that I haven't done, just so that you don't become a stale, rigid person into your own life. Let's get out there. There's so much to see. And I have this little quote. Just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she began to fly. So think of yourself just when you start to think your life is over and this is it and this is how it's going to be the rest of your life, start to fly away. You can fly like a butterfly, or this month, fly like a bat. So let's put our hands together and rubbing them back and forth, bringing some heat, love, energy, and some expansiveness, new ideas into our hearts. And I bow and honor the light in you and ask that you honor the light in others. Namaste. And again, thank you so much for joining me for whatever part of the class you got to do, maybe the whole thing, maybe just a part of it. And you can always come back to it and do your favorite parts or the whole thing all over again. Ta-ta for now. See you next week.